So think, we didn't start out as a punk band. That's the first thing. So we kind of evolved into what everyone evolved into around 1976. There were lots of fighting bars, and the music was getting faster and faster. Around La Folie, there'd become a new orthodoxy in punk, because originally when I first heard the word punk, it seemed to me like a fantastic kind of a broad school, a really broad school. It allowed us to do anything we wanted and not to follow the commercial diktats of the time. But after a short while, it kind of got taken prisoner by, I don't know who, but the rules were created. It was kind of new Stalinism. So they said, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And of course, on our first record, we used a synthesizer, which was considered sacrilege. And it was starting to get suffocating. So instead of being a liberating term, the word punk, it became a suffocating word. And when you've explored lots of possibilities, you want to explore more possibilities. And with our success at first, we just wanted to try out all kinds of new styles of music. That's why we started evolving. And we also, we started travelling and learning about things happening in the world outside our small little world of London. There's a serious point behind your question though. We wouldn't want to become a cabaret or karaoke band. So there have been big hits, if you want, which we've stopped playing for about 10 years.
Was any pressure not to come, or
what from? Who from?
Yes.
Okay, politics. I knew politics would come here, because Israel is in the centre of the maelstrom of the world, isn't it? I mean, the whole area is, the whole world is looking at this part of the world. Yes, there has been a bit of, there's been a bit of criticism about us coming to Israel. And this criticism is, it's not much of it, but there's a bit. And it's very vituperative. It's because I think people are uneducated. I think they're ignorant of what happens here. I don't really think a lot of people realise that Israel is the only real democracy in this part of the world. So, there's a lot of ignorance involved. Yes, there are contentious subjects like the territories, but that's not that's a contentious subject here in Israel as well. So yeah, there's criticism, but if you always obeyed the diktats of criticism, you wouldn't achieve anything. And if we were invited to come here, so when we get invited to go anywhere in the world, we judge it on its merits. Last year we were invited to do a tour of America. We turned it down because I frankly thought I was too tired, because we'd just been to Australia and done a British tour. We were invited to come to Israel, and we said, yeah, great, we haven't been for a while, and there are people who want to come to see us. If tomorrow the people of Palestine invited the Strangers to play a concert there, I'd think that's cool, because I've never been, but they have been. So. Roger Waters recently. I think he was in a band called Pink Floyd a while back, and he seems to have taken up the cause of, which a few people have, and academics especially, have to try to boycott Israeli products. Is that right? This is part of this thing, yeah? Well, I just say, I think he's pretty ignorant. He doesn't know the situation properly. It is. I mean, if it was a clear-cut situation, I'd be supportive, but it's not. It's really complicated. All I can say is, well, for a start, if my neighbours told me they would kick me back out or into the sea, I would kind of get quite defensive, you know, for a start. But it's so much more complicated than that. So I'd say Roger Waters is taking it. He should come here.
He was here.
He was here, and when?
He gave a show a couple of years ago.
So why is he trying to boycott stuff?
You should ask him.
Maybe he didn't have a lot of fun.
Excuse me? He didn't have enough fun. It's difficult not to have fun in television.
He actually has a good
People
show.
have their own reasons.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for him. I just find it. I'm kind of on the other side of that. As we get older, we don't have any commercial pressures. So the only pressure comes from us. We really want to do music that. We'll be dead soon, maybe. So.
This is the
You never know. Might die here. But the thing is, there's no commercial pressure, so we want to do stuff which will last. And the last 3 albums have really revitalised the Stranglers' career. So I think it's incumbent upon us to do something which has. Yeah. So we are working on stuff, but it takes a bit of time. Since 2004, I've seen a huge change in the demographic of people who come to see the Stranglers. For a start, we're playing bigger and bigger shows. And I think the last 3 albums have seemed to appeal to younger people than us old bastards. And part of the reason is because because there's so much music's returned to what it was before in the early 60s. It's kind of just la variété, showbiz. And a lot of it's become showbiz. Or you fake outrage. And a lot of it's been, I don't know if you have in Israel things like the X Factor or The Voice and stuff. But a lot of young people seem to react, of that generation, are reacting against it. The cooler kids, the hipper kids, are reacting against that. And because they have access to the past, they think that the things that we did, which we were having a lot of trouble for years ago, now are seen as badges of honour. You know, like getting arrested or having fights, or getting banned from countries, or getting beaten up and everything. All this now is seen as quite cool, because everything is a bit fabricated and sterile now, I think.
I'm going to say something. There you go. I think that the moment we don't enjoy it, we stop. It's as simple as that. The whole thing of forming a band is to play with your mates. Okay, ultimately, maybe you think that one day there might be a little bit of success, but that's not the governing factor. All I wanted to do was play guitar when I was a kid. And if I could play with 3 or 4 people and make a noise that people appreciated, then all the better. But the whole thing is governed by enjoyment.
And you focus on live, not on writing new things.
Well, yeah. We focus on what we focus on at the time. You know, we are writing new material. We're always writing new material, and we've just been discussing it this morning. You know, to keep things fresh and interesting for ourselves. Live, it's always a pleasure to play for a crowd that wants to see us, and as long as there are people that pay the money and want to come and see the band, then we will come if it's in our power to do so. You know, ultimately it's about enjoyment, and as he says, we love it. You know, just because we're old and I've got no hair and I'm getting a bit fat, that doesn't matter. You know? When I get on stage, I'm still 18 years old, and if you see us play tomorrow night, you'll probably say that.
Would we survive if we started out now? Oh man, probably we would have done even better. A kick against it.